Rolling
We're
and
rolling.
action. Uh-oh.
We're
um,
live with Bailey and Tyler. Except it's not live. It's
Not
recorded,
live. No, it's
pre-recorded.
pre-recorded. Hopefully one day it'll be live.
It's live for us.
Welcome, peoples. Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome here.
I'm assuming you either know Bailey or I if you're watching this.
That's a good assumption. Yeah.
That's a really good. Hello, friends and family.
Hello. Thank you for the 5 people watching, at least
Thank
on
you.
my side, anyway.
Thank you for the one person watching on my side. I've only really shared this with one person because I was waiting for this first episode to start filming. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really
Yeah.
excited about it. I don't know about you, but this is all I talk about to everybody and anybody. It's like
That's awesome.
I'm doing a project with Bailey. I'm doing a project with Bailey. How are you, Bailey? Let's just get started with formalities. How are you?
I'm okay. I used to say good a lot more, but now it's okay. But that's okay. My mental state is good. My physical state not so much. But we can get into that later.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler? How are you?
I'm doing well. Not great, not good, not fantastic, just well. And I think that's okay. I think you're allowed to have those days, especially during COVID and quarantine,
Yeah.
where you are just surviving, and it's fine to kind of just retreat into this huddle of like, I just want my blankets right now. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, pretty much.
But well as I can be. I'm just finishing a break from Toronto Film School, so we have a 1 week break built into the program.
Nice.
I go back next week for my 7th week, and
Did
I
you
have
say 7, like the number 7?
7.
It's been 7 weeks.
It's been 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yep.
That just flew by.
It has, and 3 weeks after that, I'll be finished my first term.
Wow.
So it goes.
Give an applause to Tyler. That's hard to do. I would know. I've done that. So good job, Tyler.
The first term is always the hardest term, and especially for someone like me who has been doing this for about 4 or 5 years. It's a lot of the basic stuff. It's a lot of relearning the basics. And like when you go into high school, into university, it's very different, you know? Like it's very like, okay, well, in high school we only learn like the basics of stuff, and now in university you get to learn more. But in this program, it's like, no, I've learned this stuff in university already. So nothing of this is new, but I'm excited to learn about it again. And I'm excited to rebuild those foundations. And I feel like a lot of it applies to me. So
that's good. Yeah.
I have to say that legally. I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of feel the same way when I went to school way back in the day. For music, like I was kind of I don't mean this as a brag, but I was kind of ahead of everybody else in my class because I had taken theory already, like outside of college. So it was kind of like, yeah, I know this stuff, but it's a good refresher. So I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, it can only be drilled in you so many times where you're just like, I get it, but no, it's great fun to watch everybody else perform and watch everybody else excel and succeed. And I'm really happy that I'm alive during this time, that I can take this all in and really be appreciative of it. You know, if I was alive 30, 40 years ago, I don't think this world that I'm living in is not a possibility, you know?
No, like what if, well, I guess they had their own pandemics back in the day, but like what was, like, how did they cope with it, right? Like it's not like they can just call up their friends whenever they're bored, or like they can, I don't know, do anything else online, right? So
yeah, but I think I'm very grateful. I mean, this is the world. But wow, what a great formality introduction. So welcome to Let's Talk About Everything. We finally have a title. We have
a title.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about everything. Because literally, as improv students, you will hear us rambling sometimes, but each episode usually will have a specific topic. This episode is called About Us.
Yeah. And you get to learn more about us if you don't know much about us.
To our 6 people watching who know us, you're going to learn some stuff. You're going to learn some stuff.
Yep, exactly.
I would like to say too that, you know, sometimes Bailey and I will be funny, and sometimes Bailey and I will be serious.
Yep.
It's going to happen. Such is life. But if anything's ever triggering for you, please don't feel the need to listen, skip over it. We'll tell you when it's done. We'll put warnings and stuff like that. But please don't feel the need to listen if it's triggering. I need to put that in legally.
Oh yeah, okay. Because there's gonna be stuff that we're gonna say that's gonna be triggering to people. Well,
we never know.
No,
we never know.
We never know.
We never know. But just so that people don't sue us. To our 6 people watching, please don't sue us.
Yes, please don't sue us. We're just 2 kids trying to create a video over their Zoom call. Like,
we have
it's
it
all
hard
innocent
enough.
fun.
We have it hard enough. Just leave us alone. No. So yeah, about us. My name is Tyler Wynn, as most of you know. I am 23 years old. I'm single. That's not what this video is about.
Is this your new dating site?
No,
hey, Tyler's
no.
single. Oh, if we're gonna go that way, I'm Bailey Platt. I'm 23, and I'm also single. So
here we go. We've done a trial episode, but this is our first one where we actually know what we're kind of doing now, and we know where we're going with it. So Bailey, let's have some deja vu.
Yeah. Talking about the same stuff, except I wrote notes this time. I can keep myself on track.
Bales, let's hear a little bit more about you.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with me. Like I said, I'm Bailey. Nice to meet you. I like warm hugs. No, well, I do like warm hugs, but that's not what this is about.
Long
so
walk to the park.
yeah, long walks on the beach. So essentially, about me, I lived in Grunthal, Manitoba my whole life. I'm a Mennonite / Hutterite, which is essentially 2 of the same groups of people. They just didn't like each other at one point in history. But that's besides the point. My parents love each other, and that's all that matters. Yeah, so grew up in Grunthal, is super Mennonite community. Like, and when I say super Mennonite, I mean that, like, extra large, super fantastic Mennonite community. So yeah, that was fun. I didn't grow up traditionally Mennonite. I would say it was more of, that's my background, not necessarily that I'm tied to it. For those who don't know what Mennonites are, for the 6 people watching, they're essentially, how do I explain this? That doesn't sound like, we're very traditional, I'll say that. We're traditional people, but we're also very stubborn. We also don't like change. And we like to keep things the same for forever and ever and ever, amen. So when I'm saying I'm not a traditional Mennonite, that's what I mean. Tyler, it looks like you have a comment there.
No, it just kind of takes me back to Michael Zwagstra's religions course, and us learning about all the different faiths and religions out there.
Yep. Yeah.
And it reminded me, I can still hear his voice. I can still hear his voice. So
yeah.
Mennonites, Menno Simons is
yeah, like, the founder of Mennonite. Yes, Mennonite is also a Christian sect. I wouldn't identify that as me either, but I have a lot of beliefs that are the same with them. But that's just Christianity. So
I'm sorry. No, I was laughing because I was picturing Michael Zwagstra. I was hearing that class, and I was back in that class, and I'm just like,
that's so funny.
This sounds familiar.
Just giving you a little history lesson on Mennonites.
Sorry, continue.
Anyway, with the Mennonite thing being said, I did grow up in a Christian home, a very loving and supportive Christian home, which I'm very grateful for. So I grew up as a Christian, and that's kind of been my whole life. I got baptized when I was 15, I think, and I've never turned back. It's been my life pretty much my whole life, and I chose it to be mine when I was 15 already, and I was very lucky that way. Yeah, and with that, I was actually a pastor's kid for about 15 years of my life, which was kind of interesting. Getting the stigma around that, but like I actually think I got it pretty good, because there's different types of pastor's kids, where it's like there's the rebellious type, I don't want to be part of the good people, or there's like the super goody two shoes, where it's like, you better be doing the right thing or else you're a bad person. I don't feel like I was either one of those, maybe more on the goody two shoes side, but like I don't feel like I was a rebel ever. I don't know if that was just my personality or how I grew up. I have no idea. But my version of rebelling is getting extra cookies. It's not like going out late and not telling my parents. So not very rebellious. Yeah, so that was a lot of the church was a lot of my life. And I got to see the background of how the church works, which was actually it was kind of hurt our family a little bit, but we can go into that later. But like it just shows us that the church isn't perfect and that like Christians aren't perfect, which is totally true. Like, of course we're not perfect. But like, you know, we can still love each other and show God's love to other people, even though we're not perfect. Ask for forgiveness when we've done something wrong. So that was a great lesson that I learned through that experience anyway. Going on a totally different subject. Music is my life. I've been in music my whole life. I started piano lessons when I was 5. So I've been playing piano. How old am I? 23? I'm almost 24, so I keep forgetting how old I am. So 20, do the math, Tyler, because I can't. I started when I was 5 and I'm 23 now. So
it would have been 18 years, 19 years, 19 years this year.
Yeah, 19 years of piano. I started like taking voice lessons when I was 10, so that's about 13 years, and I've kind of been doing it my whole life. There's actually one point like when I was really young that I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, and my mom's like, nope, you're finishing. And then I ended up finishing that year, and then I started to love it after that. So thank you, Mom, for making me continue to practice, because that would make things very different for my life. Growing up in Grunthal, there isn't a lot of opportunities for that sort of stuff, unfortunately. So all I have really was lessons. And then in high school, when I was out of my sports phase, then I started to do theater and music and art. And I just fell in love with the arts. It's pretty much besides Jesus is number one. art is pretty much my whole life. So obviously I went to school for that. I got my bachelor's of arts in music at Briarcrest. And then, you know, I've been doing great with that right now and staying home. No, but yeah, I love music, and I went to college for it because I'm like, I don't know what else to do because this is my passion. So I did. There's lots of ups and downs in that as well, but I learned so much at Briarcrest. I got so many great friends who might be listening right now. Hello, Briarcrest friends. I miss you. Hello,
I don't know you.
This is my friend Tyler. He's pretty awesome. You should get to know him. Yeah, and then I came home, and now I have a completely different thing going on. Is dealing with my health right now. I got diagnosed with Lyme disease back in June of 2020. I've been sick since October of 2019, and it took us that long to figure out what it was, because Lyme likes to hide, and it likes to play tricks on you, and it's always different for everyone else. So right now I'm kind of just dealing with that. I was also having some heart problems that came along with it. And me and Tyler are heart buddies now, as you'll hear from him later on. And like, you know what, it's kind of right now, I'm not in the prime of my life, but I am at the same time. So it's kind of like, what do I do? So right now my hobbies have been Animal Crossing, playing a lot of video games. It's been a casual YouTuber. Go check out my YouTube channel. That's a plug
Link
right
below,
there.
link below.
Link below. For those listening to the podcast, go to Bailey Plett on YouTube and you'll see it. But what I want to do with my life is I want to be a Christian first, but also a musician after that, and to show people Jesus through my music and through my actions and through how I live my life. So I'm an aspiring musician, performer / songwriter. That's kind of what I do with my life. But right now, stuck at home, playing video games, and waiting to see what comes next, essentially. Waiting to see what God shows me. So that's pretty much a summary of me. Not sure what else to say about that. Yeah, that's what I got right now. That's all I prepared.
This is our first episode. Leave us alone. Yeah. We're not gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
So in like Bales and all that, how do you know me? Like, where do I fit into this?
Where do you fit in? Well, yeah. In my life in Grunthal, going to Grunthal schools, there's this little kid that came. His name was Tyler. He came in 6th grade, was it? sixth grade. I think it was sixth grade.
Yeah.
And he was new and he was interesting, so I wanted to be his friend. But Tyler had other plans, and he did not want to be my friend at first. Anyway, so whenever I tried to talk to him, he would kind of ignore me, and then eventually he'd be like, "Why are you talking to me?" And then I was like, "Okay, I'll back off, I guess." And then I don't remember exactly what happened that made us become friends, but like eventually we were on the playground, might have been sports or something, like playing basketball or something, and we connected, and we've been friends ever since. Like, and it helped that, you know, we had all the same interests in high school, that we were pretty much in all the same things, except he wasn't in art class or choir, but otherwise we're in all the same classes. So
because I can't sing.
it's not that you can't sing, is that you don't want to sing. Everyone can sing.
We'll get into this. Leave me alone, Bailey.
Yeah, so it's kind of been me and Tyler since grade 7. We've been buds ever since, and you know, best friends I think in high school, and you know,
Definitely
keeping in
best
touch.
friends now.
Yeah,
Definitely
best friends now. Even though we don't get to see each other as much, which is too bad, but like still best friends even now.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you tell that story that way because in my, like, it's completely different in my head. I guess that's a nice segue. That's a nice.
Yeah,
segue.
it is a nice segue.
I planted it, you guys. That's called a plant. Yeah, I'm Tyler Wynn. I was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I lived there for the first 8 years of my life. I eventually moved off to Steinbach in grade 5. I attended school in Steinbach for a year, and then my family settled in Grunthal, where we bought the farm and everything. And that was grade 6. Yeah, wow, time flies.
I know, right?
So yeah, I grew up in a very, like, my family at first, we were, keep looking off here. I don't know why I'm looking off here for dramatic effect.
Yeah,
I don't know.
dramatic.
I'll look. I'll look at the camera. I have not prepared anything. No, I mean, it's my life. I know my life like the back of my own. Oh, that's no. What an old joke. What an old joke. For those of you playing the home game.
This is your first bingo.
First bingo. Every time Tyler references a joke, mark it off. I don't know how.
Every time you groan at one of Tyler's jokes, you mark it off.
So far, we're at 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I grew up. My family was actually very. The word religious comes to mind. Like we did go to a Christian church just off of Princess Street here in Winnipeg. It's downtown, and it was a great community. We were unfortunately kicked out of that church because apparently my parents didn't believe the way that they believed. So, and it's very common apparently for this to happen in churches. I did not know this, or sometimes people just leave, like because they don't agree with it. I did not know this. I was very young and I just did not understand. I tried the whole faith thing in Grunthal. I tried to continue the faith, but like many things, my family was not welcomed. And that was, you know, kind of the last straw for my parents. So to tie in religion and everything, which I will talk about later, that's how that happened. You know, just a lot of the people did not agree with us, and I will not name any specific places, but you know, that's part of my story, and I've told this story many times. I'm very glad for the people that I have met, and people like Pastor Randy, Romy, Bailey, like all these people who have been so influential in, you know, making sure that not forcing Christ down my throat, but showing me through them, you know, what it's like to live a life filled with joy, filled with laughter. Because yeah, I was negative Nelly in high school. When I was younger, I was a bit more.
I shouldn't snark like that.
But it's true. No, it's true because Bailey's like, I don't want to snark, but I want to snark because it's true. It's true. Yeah. I had a lot going on in little Tyler's life. But so yeah, I moved, as Bailey was saying, I moved to Grunthal in grade 6. I knew right away, because my family had moved around a lot, that we weren't going to stay here for long, and so that is why I didn't want to be friends with anyone. Not because I was rude and mean. Not because I was rude and mean, but because I was afraid that if I had made friends, I would just have to say goodbye to them all over again. So I was very guarded, even at the tender age of 11. I was very guarded, and I continued to be guarded all the way until graduation. So nobody changes that way. But yeah, Bailey and I became really good friends.
I somehow snuck into his life, even though he was
somehow,
guarded. Ooh, got it. Yes.
I'm in.
Woo!
Yeah, I must have left the door unlocked or something. I don't know, but
I could have smashed a window or something. Like,
100%.
we're gonna be friends.
But it's great like that, because even when I was like, I didn't understand the value of our friendship until like after high school, and I started meeting new people, and I started to understand like where, you know, these people had come from. I'm like, I don't vibe with you, and like it's nothing against you, it's nothing against me, it's just circumstances. Like I just don't vibe with you. And that was my first 2 years of university. I didn't vibe with anyone, and especially in science. I mean, everyone's quiet in science.
Yeah, no kidding.
But you know, like especially after having being rejected by like first a community that my father had gone to before I was born, and we were kicked out, and then coming to Grunthal and being rejected by that same, like, it just having that rejection so many times, like it kind of wears you down. And even as a kid, so part of my story is I was born with a congenital heart disease, and so I was like, I had to grow up very fast. So little, like grade 7, grade 8 Tyler was not grade 8, like pretty much an adult at that point. Even though I was still a kid, I had a lot going on. I had a lot that I was going through. How many ambulance rides? Like 20, over 20 ambulance rides, 2 helicopter rides, which was the talk of the town. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
like there was so many incidents where it just became a natural occurrence, and then everybody knew it was me. I mean, I made like the Steinbeck paper at one point. It was
Well, it's not
like,
very often that a helicopter lands in a schoolyard in Grunthal. So
nope. But it's like it just became that. And so from a very young age, it's just like, well, life has been crap to me, so I'm gonna be crap to life, and I'm not gonna do anything about it. And it's very easy. I mean, during the amount of conversations I've had with people during quarantine about the same thing, where that changes, you know, that there's something that shifted in their mentality, where it's like, life is crap to me right now, I'm gonna be crap to life. And it's trust me, I think being negative is one of the most easiest emotions to feel.
yeah, no
It's
kidding.
what it's one of the most easiest things to feel, because it's so easy. It really just drains you at the end of the day. But I learned my lesson. Hi, my name is Tyler Wynn. I'm a reformed negatives.
Hi, Tyler.
But you know, it's at the end of the day, I'm very glad for having Bailey in my life. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I probably wouldn't have gone to film school
Aw.
without all the reinforcement. I mean, the constant amount, and like especially last year too, when I was going through one of the toughest times in my life, both with COVID and just for personal reasons. Bales was there. By the way, that's my nickname for her. Bales. I've always called. I don't know when it started. I don't know. I've always called you that, and it's
That's
never
just
been
what
Bailey.
people call me.
It's just a name, and I'm just like, that's and I also have so many Baileys in my life, but only one Bales, and I think that's very special.
That's right.
So
That's right. There's only one.
but so I say butter a lot. Butter. Getting off track here, people. There's Bales really pushed me to that, and so that's part of my story as well, and that's part of my testimony, where, you know, my friends and family. I mean, Bales was there when I got baptized. I mean, this woman shed tears for me.
I cried. Like, wow.
And I think for that, like, speaking with other people, not taken away from anybody who was baptized at 15, 16, but especially Bailey and everybody who knows my story, and who knows what, and we'll get into this in later episodes, but who knows my story and who knows what I went through to get to that moment. I felt too, it was a very powerful moment. And I remember what Bailey was saying too after I got baptized. She was just like, my family's leaping for joy because they've been praying for you for years. And I'm just
actually though, like ever since we met you, my mom's like, I hope he meets Jesus one day. Like, it's been praying for you like constantly. And they hear that you finally got baptized, they're like, our answers have been prayed. Our prayers have been answered.
But there's so much beauty, and so what I've learned is that there's so much beauty in life, and that it goes by so quickly. Those beautiful moments just zip past you, and that yes, life is full of pain and anguish and stuff like that, and there's going to be trials and tribulations, especially as Christians. We're like, and this is one thing I've constantly said when I express what I believe in. I am not perfect, and I never will be.
Me neither, buddy.
And that's just what everyone sees, you know, someone who's Christian or someone who proclaims that they believe in God and Christ, and they're like, oh, so this man must have the perfect life. No,
Ha! That's
we
funny.
we don't. Or we're expected to be perfect. We're not expected to be angry. We're not expected to, be a little condescending sometimes. Like, we're flawed. We have human emotions. Welcome to the real world. I mean, you know, especially Bailey and I, who are very impassioned people, there is going to be some trouble with that. There is going
Trouble
to
in
be some
paradise. Yep.
but I mean, for Bales and I too, we've had our ups and downs. We've definitely had our fights and our
Mm-hmm.
our spats. But at the end of the day, it's just like, hey, you have your idea, and this, especially when I didn't, when I didn't proclaim myself as Christian, you have your ideas and beliefs, and I have my ideas and beliefs, and at the end of the day, we're able to like accept that. And when we would fight, it would never devolve to that where it's like, oh well, you don't believe and you don't do this. It was more of like the moment of what we were arguing about, right? And that's the beauty of it. We're humans, and we're going to feel, and we're going to recognize all these different things of each other, and sometimes we won't like all those things, but hey, who are you to say? Everyone's evolving and growing. Bailey, I think you can speak to this. I'm not the same person that I was a year, 5 years, 10 years ago.
Oh,
Like,
heck no. Heck no. I can't say that loud enough. Wow. Like even when you had a girlfriend that helped you a lot, I think, in that time as well. And I could just talking to you, I could hear the difference in your texts. Like even just hearing your voice, like when you would call me on occasion, like it was night and day. And that's what Jesus does for people. Is it's night and day, and that's why I follow him, because he does amazing things, and he is faithful. And
yeah.
it was so great to see the change in you, and how quickly it changed you for the better, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, there's can't wait to talk about this in a later episode, but there's a lot of doubt with that too, right? Like, oh, is he changing because of her, for her? No, again, everybody who knows me and everybody who knows my story, I've been on this road for a while. I've been on this road trying to discover who I am, my identity. I mean, and it's hard too with such a mix. I mean, on one side of my family, my dad's side is Buddhist, and then my mom's side are very much, atheist or agnostic or Catholic at that point as well. And my mother grew up Catholic, and then she just stopped believing. And then again, the family went to Christian church, and then after all that's said and done, we just stopped believing. And so I didn't grow up in a household where faith was talked about a whole lot. So I think, I needed to meet and be around more people. And I think, being in a relationship helped. And I think when I was in that relationship, I did spend a lot of time with her and her family. And so it's natural. And there's something that clicked where it's like, I want my life to be like this. And they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But at the same time, I was like, this is ideal. Like, I want to be happy, and I want to feel love, and I'm so glad for that time that I had with them. But I'm also thankful that I was able to disconnect myself and now make this faith my own, So I've been talking a lot. Bailey, any questions that you questions that you
I do actually have questions.
Yes.
So you have a very mixed background. Like your mom is I can't remember necessarily her heritage, but your dad is Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So how does that go together? Like, I've always been curious about that.
Well, Bailey, when two people love each other very much.
That's not what I meant.
For those of you who play the home game, that's 3. No.
Put awkward moment in there as well.
My mom's Métis, which we found out about 4 years ago now.
Okay. Wow.
So my grandfather was full on Métis, and then his father was First Nation, and then First Nation Métis, right? So through that, and being First Nation back then too, he was white passing, my great grandfather. So he just never got status, and then my grandfather never got status, and then my mother decided to get status because my uncle was saying that, hey, like, I think we have Métis in our blood, like this is a real possibility. And so we did a bunch of family lineage, we did a bunch of research, and lo and behold, we do have Métis. So I'm half Métis, half Vietnamese. How does that work? I don't know. I honestly don't know. My dad, so my dad came from it's called Ho Chi Minh City, but for those of you against the Communist Party, he came from Saigon, Vietnam. He was born there, and he eventually not moved. He fled Vietnam to Thailand, and from there, being in the refugee camps, he came to Canada. He got refugee status, and then became a citizen. But during that time, he did a lot of traveling. And it's kind of, I want to write a play about this. It's kind of a very beautiful love story, even though it ends in tragedy. But my father, one day he was in Winnipeg and he was at this party, and my mom was at the same party, and it just two people met and they started talking, and from there started dating. And it's also for me too, like for my parents, it's just, oh, they've always been my parents, but I never thought of them as, oh, they had to date, they had to like meet, right. So to hear this story when I was probably 15, 16, I was just like, what? They dated? Like, what? They're just like me.
What? Wow.
I want to date somebody one day. But so yeah, they met. They were at a party. Well, not a party. It was like more of a it wasn't like this rave. I make it, but it was a get together. It was a social gathering of people, and my mom and dad met. They started talking, started dating. They got married in '95, had me in '97, and then had 5 other kids after that, all boys. So
what are the chances that you have like 6 boys in your family? Like, does your mom go crazy with that?
A little bit. Every time one of us brings a girl home, I mean, my mom loves Bailey and Romy. Like she loves Bailey and Romy, because like every friend that's a girl, or even if I do bring home a girlfriend, like when I brought home my ex for the first time, my mom was like, I love you. That's it. And I was just like, Mom, like, can you chill out? Like, can you stop? Can you stop? But she didn't have that daughter, but she's very grateful that she has 6 kids. I mean, I kid you not, somebody said something to her, and all of us just kind of roll out of the car. What'd you say? Like these 6 big guys are like, what'd you say? And my mom's like, that's right. Say it again. Say it louder.
Let's go.
My mom is someone who is also very protective of us too. And so, I guess with her, it was meant to be that she had 6 kids, and obviously she wanted that daughter, but it just never happened. So she's hoping when, we get married and we, like, my brothers and I eventually have wives and we have children, that those children are all girls. So she can have a bunch of granddaughters. So that's how that works. But that's also a thing too, like identity has always been something that's in question for me. Like so growing up in school, it was very, very like, this kid's very different, and I got a lot of comments about it, and that's all I'll say about that. But especially
good, some of them bad.
Especially in a small town. I think you could speak to this in a small town.
Traditional doesn't want to change. Nothing different in Midnight Town.
And I've told this story a bunch of times, and I will say it again. I don't hate anybody. I think Grunthal was an experience I was supposed to have, so that I would know what it's like to have an open heart, to have an open mind, and to love unconditionally. And like I said, not everyone in Grunthal was like that. I mean, Bales is from Grunthal. Her family's from Grunthal. Every time I would come over to their house, to their home, I would be greeted with warmth. I would be greeted with, this unconditional love. And so I'm just like,
because you're an awesome person. That's how we treat awesome
people.
Right.
But sometimes people just see, your last name or the color of your skin or, distinctive facial features. And I'm just like, I can't help that. I was born like this.
Hey, if you can spell his last name right in the comments, you win. Bingo, all the way. So
yeah, hopefully it's just, let's talk about everything with Bailey and Tyler, right? Not my last name's not in there. Yeah.
No, your last name's not on there.
Okay, so it's Tyler Win. So like you win something, and here's a hint, folks, for those of you playing, it's not spelled with a W. So there's no W in there.
Should we say what it is, like what it starts with? Because I don't think anyone will get that.
It starts with an N.
Okay, there you go.
But
I can't even spell it all the time. Like I always get confused by 2 letters that I'm like, which one comes first? And then I try it out and like, nope, that looks wrong. And then I do it the other way. It's like, yep, that's the one.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about that after. After how many years of knowing me?
I'm sorry. But my name is very easy to spell.
Yeah, I know how to spell your last name. What is this? Anyway, sorry guys. This is the arguments that we were talking about. Uh, yeah, I mean, I got a lot of comments about it. It's part of my story. I moved on from it, and hopefully, for people who are listening to this and are hearing this, they're like, "But you said, yeah, it's because I'm choosing to leave some stuff out." Sorry, guys. It's how it's gonna happen.
What? You don't get to hear every part of our deepest, darkest secrets? That's crazy.
Right? Like there are even some places in Grunthal that did not want us in, and I won't share those places because it's not important. It's not, it's not part of who it, especially over a podcast. Like if I know you personally and I've told you this stuff, congratulations. But otherwise than that, like I don't need to share it, and because it's not important. I'm living who I am now. And what I'm saying is I'm very thankful for the time that I had in Grunthal because it taught me a lot. Just like I'm very thankful for every hurtful and painful experience that I've had in my life. And I think everybody should be thankful for that time because it taught you, it might have taught you how to love more. It might have taught you how to go through that. It might have taught you to be there for somebody else. I mean, I know with Bales, I apologize if Bales for bringing this up if it is, something that's triggering, but Bales is going through something serious right now, a health condition. And more, I don't know the specifics of Lyme disease, but knowing what it's like to be sick all the time, that is something I know about. And so, unfortunately, sorry guys, I haven't been around a whole lot because I'm at school. But when I try to be around, I am always just a text away, a phone call away, and I've told her that before. But I had to go through all that health crises, things and everything. So even if I was just to be here for Bales, right? And hopefully Bales is going through this so that one day she can be there for somebody else. And I think that's what life is about. We gather all these different experiences.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've talked too much. So Bales, you mentioned it. You've already mentioned it. But what was I like?
What
was
were
like
you like
in high school? What was your, that first impression, and then going on into high school? Just like what was the evolution first of our friendship and also of me as a person, and you in retrospect of being friends with me?
So like I said, he didn't want to be friends with me at first. I thought it was because I was a weirdo and that I was loud and upfront. I feel like I intimidate people sometimes by my confidence, I guess. So I thought that was the reason. And like, you know what, if you didn't want to be my friend, that's fine. But then I'd keep trying, and eventually we did click. And I don't know if it was your sense of humor or that like we both were interested in sports or something, but like something clicked and we're like, okay, we're friends now. I just remember hanging out with you and who else, like Chris, and like at recess we were just goofing around and y'all would sing that stupid pony song a million times. Do you remember that?
My little pony, my little pony, you'll always be in my heart.
Like literally a million times a day, which was only a little bit annoying.
Oh man. How do didactic memory, that's what it is.
Oh yeah. And then like it helped a lot that we were interested in the same thing. So like when theater and improv came around, we were like, yes, we're gonna do that. And like we were just both very passionate about it. And like you you kind of said before, you were a bit shut off from people. Whenever you did open up to someone and they hurt you, you would feel very hurt by that, obviously, because I understand that when you let people in and then they disappoint you and then you're like, I'm never letting them in again. Like that's an appropriate response, I think. But like you also learn from that and you let other, like right now you're friends with everyone. Like you're the most friendly person right now.
Well,
well, you're in Manitoba and all of your new friends are in Toronto and you're like best friends with all of them already. Can I assume that? I think that's a good assumption.
Yeah, I'm friends with them, not best friends.
Best friends, you know what I mean. Like
you're my only best friend, Bailey.
Okay,
you're my only best friend.
Yay!
There's a funny story. There's a funny story behind that. So, sorry, just to cut. So quickly, when Bales and I were growing up, and we were in elementary school, or not elementary school, but like middle school. I said something. I was like, oh yeah, like this person's my best friend. And Bailey at the time, we were pretty close. She was my best friend. And Bales comes up to me, I'm not your only best friend. She was so heartbroken, you guys. I'm not your only best friend. No, like you can only have one best friend. I was like, Bales, that's not how it works. Well, only one.
Well, Romy's my best friend too, and I would say so is Maria. So like, you're not my only best friend, and I'm sorry I said that before.
I think Bales is also like, and like, oh man, I keep cutting you off. No, continue your
No,
story.
it's
And then
fine. I don't know how much more. Well, like, our religious views are different. So when I said something that was based on Christianity, and then you shut it down right away, so I was like, oh, okay, that's a touchy subject. I guess we're not going there. But like, I was still firm to my beliefs. You never made me change my mind, thankfully. But there was times where there was things that we didn't agree with, and we couldn't resolve it because our views were so different. But I would say that's not the same now, that our views are more similar
no,
now. Yeah, and then I went to college. He went to college. We're in different provinces. We tried to keep in touch as much as we could, but we're busy people in college. He was in trying to be a doctor at the time. I was busy in a new province and also being terribly homesick. I think there was times where I'm like, I wonder what Tyler's doing, and there was a time in college where I'm like, I wish I could have kept that up more. But then we would go to Fringe Festival together, and then we'd be like, we're best friends again. That was kind of the best part of it. Is like when we were together, we're like, oh, this is still going, like we're right where we left. So
yeah,
yeah. So besides you being a little shut off from the world when you were in high school and younger, we got along pretty well. And like, you didn't have the same views as me, but I didn't really let that divide our friendship, I guess. If anything, I just wanted you to see my view more, like to understand where I was coming from. But like, you know what? It takes people different time to get to where they are, to
yeah,
understand what their beliefs are. So like, if you needed time, that's what you needed. And now, like, look at you now.
yeah.
So
Eventually, people get there, and I think it's a journey. It's a
mm,
journey that everyone has to be on. And I mean, like Bales, even for you, like even for people who have been Christian their whole life, they're constantly growing. They're
oh
not
yeah, yeah,
stagnant.
yeah, yeah.
They're not stagnant. They're still on this road. And I think that's one thing that I've appreciated about my own life, where I am thankful for where I am, and I don't regret anything that's happened. I don't regret the people I was with. I don't regret the town that I grew up in. What I will say on this is that Bales in high school, and then more so in high school, and then even after high school, Bales has always been very protective of the people that she cares about.
Yep.
And
That's
I
still true.
know it's still true.
It's still true.
To this day,
Yeah.
before this call happened, like it's just even opening up. Like Bales is just someone that's so easy to talk to. And in high school, I think that's what clicked for me. You were asking what clicked. I think that was it. Where I think I opened up to you one day,
Hmm.
and I still remember the rock metaphor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I still
That's a good
remember the
one.
rock metaphor where I would always say I had all these rocks that I feel like I'm carrying this weight of the world
Hmm.
on my shoulders. And Bales was like, well, you don't have to. I was like, no, but you don't get it. And Bales was very sympathetic to it. She's like, listen, I have to approach this in a different way. I have to approach this in a way that like he can understand, but I can also relate my own beliefs, which I thought was very comforting. A lot of people would just be like, Jesus, and that was it. I'm going, okay, wait a minute, wait,
Wait, hold
Jesus,
on.
no, okay,
No,
stop. But Bale, I think Bales had it right from the beginning. She was. This is appreciate Bailey's hours. She
That's
was
bingo.
very.
Appreciate it,
She
bingo. Bingo.
bingo anyone bingo. She was very sympathetic to how I felt, and she didn't want to push me away, but she wanted to push me in a direction that was a bit more stable. And so the rock analogy was, I think, my favorite, and I share it with everybody now, and it's because of this moment. And so the rock analogy is, even if it's even if it's the smallest pebble, let me take it off your shoulders. Let me put it in my bag. Let me grab, let me start grabbing those rocks. And what I didn't notice was that through all of my friends, whether it was Romy, Bales, Chelsea, Chris, at times, my family, those were like, it started to get lighter because people were taking rocks, but even without me knowing. I think Bailey was telling me, take his rocks.
Take his rocks. Don't let him look.
But like,
Run.
and as much as I would keep putting on my shoulders, Bailey would take away. So if I had two, Bailey would take 3, and it's just like, and it's not like she would keep them. There you go, God. And it felt amazing. And so that's the analogy that I use. If I can take a rock off your shoulder, I'm not going to keep that rock. I'm going to give it to him. And it's such a simple one. People are like, really, what rocks? You could have but I think it's a natural, beautiful analogy, and I love it. And so judge me, I don't care.
What else are you supposed to put on your back? I don't know, like a truck or some water bottles.
If I was to say clothes, that would be weird. You can't take clothes off people.
Let me take your clothes off your back.
Don't take clothes off of people. No,
only for your husbands or wives.
So for those of you playing the home game, this is now awkward number 4.
We're at 4 already.
But so that's my favorite analogy, and I hope that makes it into like the preview of this episode. Like that, I love that analogy, and Bailey has said
came up with that in my own mind. I'm like, boom, that was Jesus, totally Jesus. Like I don't know where else that came from besides
Bailey has said some amazing things over our friendship. I mean, Baileyism. I mean, come on. But she made that more than a word, and I remember I really wish I had a T-shirt. But
I probably do. Please hold. Your call is important to us.
We'll take a short intermission. Let me entertain
for a little bit.
Da, 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 da. You guys want to hear a song? I got you. Don't worry. I've been learning this one.
One doesn't have earpiece.
Okay, so
did you actually play anything?
Yeah. Do you want to hear it? Wait.
Yeah.
So that's your entertainment. All right. Now we are back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes. Welcome back. This is the Baileyism T-shirt that I made. I don't know if it's backwards for you, but for those who aren't watching the video, we'll read it out for you. So it says Baileyism. That's me. And then it has the phonetic right there. And then it says definition: a way for Baileys to get what they want. And also noun, Baileyism, religion, a way of life, or a language. And then also it says a verb: to act out or play an object in a theatrical sense. And then it has my deets for those who want to see my YouTube channel and stuff.
Go check Bailey's music out. Yeah, guys, go check it out. She posts some really amazing stuff, and like I still have yet to subscribe, which I haven't done, but it's always just in my search bar. I just click and I'm like, any new videos lately? I will subscribe.
I'm subscribed to yours.
I will subscribe after this. I swear. It's just like I'm always watching, like, oh yeah, this is beautiful, and I just like because it's always in my search bar, and it's always on like my tabs of like things that like I watch, right? So like it's in my watch laters, it's in my playlist.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I forget to subscribe all the time. Yeah, no, it's terrible. I know I'm a terrible friend. But no, so it may seem like a joke, but Bailey made these T-shirts, and then she donated a bunch of them to, well, not donated T-shirts, but like she made the money and she took that and put it towards the Heart and Stroke Foundation. And I thought it was beautiful because it wasn't a Heart and Stroke Foundation for any, like, it was like because my friend who has gone through similar things and because that foundation has given him a lot, I wanted to give back to that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, right? So I'm gonna start crying. So as you playing the home game,
crying. I think we're two.
Has been that person for me, and I talk about this a lot. To all my friends, a lot of people use the word soulmate as in a romantic sense, and yes, it very much is romantic. But Bailey, through her, I have found so much of myself, so much of who I am, and it's because of her that I am the man that I am today. So I owe her a lot. And Bailey's like, I'm going to get that in writing so that.
Can you put that on a T-shirt for me, and I will wear that proudly.
I used to be of someone. Wow, I'm really going to start tearing up.
Oh
Bailey,
no!
Say something.
This is brought to you by Tyler's Zoom subscription. He bought it for school, but we're using it so that we can go longer than 45 minutes. Sponsored by Tyler, everyone. Yay!
I'm still gonna cry.
I don't know what else to do.
I think this needs to be said because I don't think I say it enough. I take her for granted, and I do. I take Bales for granted. She's going through so much, and I never like. There are times where like I'm just sitting there and I'm praying, and I'm like, oh gosh. And then there's Bailey, and then there's Bailey, and it's always been Bailey throughout everything else. It's always been Bailey. She has been this one beautiful constant for all you math nerds and for all you science nerds. She's been this one beautiful constant, this one absolutely enamorous enigma of absolute joy and absolute, beauty. And I'm just like, why? Why me? Why me? Why do I get, and obviously she's part of a lot of people's lives, but like in my sense, why is she spending all this effort and all this time on me? And I thought this in high school. 100% thought this in high school. Why me? Why? And it's just who she is. But more than that, it's because she saw something, and it's because I felt in that moment, and talking about what clicks and what, oh my gosh, what clicks and what doesn't, is that she was it. She was this perfect human being, and like I was saying before, nobody can be perfect. But in my sense of what perfection is, she was that. She was this beautiful friend that I'm forever grateful for. And whatever struggles and whatever life that brings us, I can always rely on her. And so that's on
Tyler.
That's on record. That's on record. That is on record. And I wanted to say that. I wanted to say that and put that on the record. I've had so many. I mean, Bales, you know this. I've had 2 serious relationships.
And a lot of not serious relationships.
And a lot of not serious relationships. a lot of crushes. A lot of crushes that just never panned out. But 2 serious relationships in my life. And both women in my life ended up leaving. And I can always turn back to Bales. And that sounds terrible, where it's like, come on, she's right there. And I've had so many people be, Bales, I kid you not. When I describe you to people, I kid you not. Are you guys dating? I'm like, no, we're just really good friends. And I think that's the beauty in it, where it's like, man, I could turn to her for everything, but I think that's also where I take you for granted. I think that's where I take you for granted. And I, from the deepest part of my heart, I apologize, but I just wanted to let you know how much you mean to me. I'm not doing this because I want to start. I'm not doing this because I want to start a podcast. I want to do this because I get to spend more time with Bailey. And I think for any human being out there, and especially for the 6 people that are watching, get to know this wonderful human being, because she is absolutely magnificent, and an absolute joy and a godsend for anybody. So that is my piece. That is my essay. Thank you for visiting my TED Talk.
I feel like I gotta brag about you before we end this.
Nope. Nope.
Okay, I guess we're ending it. Well, thank you for all the comments. No.
No, it's not an ending. But no. It could be. It's up to you. It's just kind of a rambling. It's a rambling of thoughts and ideas.
We're reaching the hour, and
yes.
I'm gonna explain this later. But like, my energy is not what it used to be, and I would love to talk to you for forever and ever, amen. But my heart rate is pumping, and like, I'm just excited and talking loudly. But I'm gonna be conked out like an hour from now. So
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is approaching that hour. But I would like to say, for all you who are watching, thank you, or those who are listening, thank you so much for listening. Even if it is one person, or even if it's 5, 10, it really doesn't matter to us. We're not doing this because we want to become famous from the podcast. This is something creative for us to do, and we're passionate about it. I think it speaks volumes to our friendship as well.
Sorry, we're not trying to go viral. That's the whole reason I signed up for this.
Bailey, quiet.
Oh, sorry.
We have to be humble.
Okay.
We're not trying to become famous. No, but seriously, I think Bailey will say something to just thank you. Thank you for listening to us rambling. Thank you for allowing us into your homes and listening. And we look forward to putting up more episodes for you.
Yeah. Tune in next time when we talk about something else, because we talk about everything.
Like the episode's called, like the podcast is called, Let's Talk About Everything.
Let's talk
episode
about everything. 1. Episode 1.
But that's episode 1 in the books, people.
Woo! We get it!
Bales, any final remarks?
You know what? Go live your lives, people. If you listen to this, that's cool. If you don't, like, whatever, you should listen to it though, because I think it's interesting. You know what? Look out for more, because we got lots in us to tell and to talk about. And believe us, there's lots of interesting stories that you want to tune into later on. That's your teaser, and that's what you're gonna look forward to.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So this is us signing off. Thank you so much, and we will see you in our next episode.
Bye bye.